So these elements, these fundamental elements of the rule of law and the supremacy of law, separation of powers with the capacity for checks and balances, the protection of citizens as a, not lastly, but also most importantly in India, they said the state must be a welfare state. That is also a basic part of the structure. The state must be a welfare state which goes to welfare of the people. That too is a part of the basic structure. In the modern term for welfare can be human development. Whether you call it welfare of the citizen or human development, part B has to be part of the basic structure and document. Instead of human development, in 1978 Constitution, what we had was the state security law. State to be protected. Yeah, the state has to be protected when there is insurgencies or that kind of thing. But that's all. That is this limit. The fundamental principle is state people should be protected from the state on the same principle that a state exercises power. They can use the gun. That is what it means. They can use the gun, they can intimidate you and get things done. If you don't do it, sir, it is one of the saddest things that every day we witness today. Somebody who has convinced on something and he wants to do something and intervene and do something. Then he turns back and say, well, somebody may come and kill me for doing this. I will give you the latest example of what I earlier said. In a certain court, a businessman who had given some checks to another businessman found that he did not honor the checks after some time. So he got the police to file a case, and then when the case was there, the magistrate was behaving in a rather unusual fashion, not going to hear. Then they say, there is some lawyers who will be heard by this magistrate. Go and hire one of them. So one of them was hired, and then he gave a hearing. And when the lawyer came out, he has got his fees already. He said, see, I have influence in this court. Now, the amount of money involved was 50 lakhs. The lawyer says, give me 3 lakhs. Now, I will get to the 50 lakhs at the end. Other man, also a businessman, he said, I will give you the 50 lakhs, 3 lakhs if you finish and I get the money. No, now, because according to the lawyer, I don't believe that lawyer was telling the truth, but according to the lawyer, 1 lakh is for me, the 2 lakhs are for the judge. So this man said, whoever it is, I have no money, I won't give. Then he said, how about 2? Then finally, it was brought down to 1. Yet this businessman was angry. He went and called the man who introduced his lawyer and said, what kind of thing is? That man said, sir, if you promise that 1 lakh, this evening, this lawyer will come to your house to collect the 1 lakh. And that exactly happened. And then after getting the 1 lakh, he said, can you give the other 2 lakhs within this coming 2-3 days? So when this story was told, I told him, now see this corruption and all this, why don't you complain? I will help you. Why don't you complain about this story? He said, that what will happen is, then I will, instead of I'm only trying to get my money, I will lose my life. And people from all walks of life, it can be journalists who want to say something, all walks of life, he says, if I go beyond this, and if I say, my life is not at stake. It is being said at the cricket board, on the television, one of the members, He said some things are happening. Then he asked, why don't you take some action? He said, I know what happens if I say. Sir, if there is this fear, that is not a country where democracy exists. Because the principle that the state will protect everybody is not there. So we live in a situation where we are not protected. So the first technique of drafting is to include these 5 principles as the basic structure of the constitution, so that the citizen later, if he is faced with, can use this. So this is my first suggestion, that the basic structure well defined, not just basic structure and put something there, but the basic structure on those principles must be incorporated. It is normally incorporated in the preamble. In the Indian Constitution, it is included in the preamble. So it can be through the preamble or any other section. This basic element should be included. Now that is on the issue of the basic structure. Now you know, when you draft constitution, there are 2 major principles. One is for democracy. One is to incorporate principles valid for all democracies, whether it's England, whether it's India, or then there is a second principle. You must develop certain principles to overcome your own peculiar problems. Now, for example, India has a peculiar problem. Caste. 1950, they had a peculiar problem which is nowhere in Europe or anywhere. So, European constitution did not help. So, formulate a principle to help eradication of caste. And that was incorporated into the Indian constitution. Like that, there are peculiar problems in countries. Most peculiar problem for Sri Lanka today is the breakdown of the basic institutions of law and the basic judiciary. What is the reason? Many reasons. Major reason is no funds, not enough funds. The state does not give enough funds to have enough judges, enough prosecutors. Attorney General Department, they say, need twice the number. Not enough qualified policemen, forensic science, investigators of quality. There's a few, and they are doing excellent job. But others are not there. So that is why you get aberrations of all the. We have known the Seya case, we have known the Ambilipidia case, and who can name thousands. That is happening at the police station because there's no competent people. You know, what kind of state can say, this is my duty, I don't give money. When you had the war, at the beginning, we did not have enough soldiers. We did not have enough equipment. And little by little, over the years, by 1971 or so, our number of soldiers were less than 10,000. Today is 300,000. So are the equipment of enormous scale. Money was given to do the task that is needed. So justice must be given the money so that these institutions can function. So this peculiar Sri Lankan problem must be addressed in the constitution, so that we find a solution. You cannot deal with all the nitty-gritties, but the principles and the program, basic aspect, should be within the constitution, so that after this constitution, if some man has a case for 10 years, 14 years, today to get a small rape case, and it takes 14 years. Now, no other country. What is the time limit today for criminal case in many of the countries? Small cases 6 months, serious cases 1 year. In one of the cases of Sri Lanka, which went before the Human Rights Committee, The case of Lalit Rajapaksa, communication of Lalit Rajapaksa, a young boy who has suffered from torture. The Human Rights Committee recommended to Sri Lanka and said, you have delayed this case for 3 years. This is undue delay. This has violated basic principle of hearing a case without undue delay. And that is what the international law recognized. Nobody will believe that our cases are going to end in 3 years. But that's the rule. So therefore, that undue delay should be eliminated. If you look at the submission I have given in Sinhalese, you will get a section on the issue of this whole issue of undue delay. Sorry. In page 5 I think. This is list of in a meeting about 40 people. I asked them, put down what you think is what is wrong with undue delay. So the people got together and put down these points. Look at the first point. What it says is, this introduces a system on which lying is encouraged. This, our justice legal trial system encourages lying. Suppose a client goes to a lawyer and says, sir, I am charged with murder. I did the murder. What is the lawyer's response? Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that. Same with any other thing. What right has a lawyer to say that? What right has a lawyer to say, lie? Lie before the most august body of the country, other than the parliament. Other than the parliament, what is the most important august body? The court. The lawyers teach people to lie. And they say, well, you know, I can't help you to acquit you because there's so much evidence. But I can get you dates. So, you don't get to gallows in 1 year. I take 14 years. By that time, so many things may happen. One case is heard by 7 judges. You ever hear in a democracy, same case being heard by 7 judges? That's the normal rule today. Serious cases. Which case ends by hearing of 1 judge or 2 judges together and end it? None. Because the basic principle, beginning a trial and hearing it to the end, has been discarded. Because the Attorney General's Department tell you, sir, not like 20 years ago. Now I have 1,500 cases. So I am the one who asked for dates. Not only the lawyer, I am the one who asked for dates. That is how pathetic we are. You go through this. Anybody who doesn't get shocked by this, if he doesn't see the nonsense that is going on. So therefore, we must create the principle, and it's a very simple principle in the law. Fair trial without undue delay. International law is very clear on that. We have signed the optional protocol to the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. In that one of the basic norms is fair trial without undue delay. So it's a clear international law. We have to bring this into our law. I will tell you how to bring it. So these basic, I'm addressing the peculiar problem of failed law enforcement and the failed legal, judiciary, the adjudication. This must end if we are going to be a stable nation and also a prosperous nation. Because no businessman is safe here. And the businessmen today, particularly foreign investors, do their research before they come. If we get into some trouble, they get in their trouble only from other businessmen. What will happen? There's competition. What will happen? All kinds of things. So that certainty that if there is anything, it will be decided on the law and you are safe. I mentioned to you 5 countries. Now I can also mention to you one more country where I have lived for 25 years. That's a small country. Not a country even, an administrative region called Hong Kong. You know that it is one of the most prosperous places in Asia, like Singapore, and but democratically, there's no authoritarianism like in Singapore. What are the 3 principles on which the Hong Kong prosperity lies? It is laid down in the mini constitution. 3 things. Rule of law, as I mentioned to you, as the basic principle. Independence of judiciary as the other most important principle. People, when they talk about their country, they say, we know that our country judges are independent. No, when I went first to the lawyers and when I asked them, is there any complaint about any of the judges being, taking not so good? He looked at me with surprise. He said, here, nothing like that ever happens. And if there ever happens small, even small, is finished. He will be finished in 1 day. The third thing that protects Hong Kong is an effective law enforcement by 2 institutions. Institution against corruption, Independent Commission Against Corruption, known in the world as ICAC, and the police. Police in Hong Kong are respected as gentlemen. That was not so before 1974. What was the change? They brought about ICAC as an independent body outside the police. And they invest more money on ICAC than the police. And the ICAC is a foolproof body. Whoever who is get corrupt, get caught. Whoever. It may be a very top people, it may be a small man. People know if you get, I have lived 25 years, I know, no